Hello, this is Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Welcome home. Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey, it's Amy from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey Clubbers, it's Scott from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, it's Kathleen from DVC Clubhouse.
Welcome aboard. It's Phil from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Debrief podcast brought to you by DVC Clubhouse. This is Amy, and I'm joined as always by my co-hosts Scott, Kathleen, and Phil. Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Welcome aboard, guys.
So how's everybody doing on this lovely, it's Tuesday, right? I don't even know what day it is because I'm still in California and everything. I feel like I'm in a time warp.
I just had to look down. I think it's July. I lost track somewhere along the way.
Yeah, it's already been a long week.
The dog
What a month
days.
this week has been.
Yes.
Well, at least we get to take a little respite from the bad week to talk about our favorite place and our favorite thing, which is DVC and Disney. So
I almost chimed in there for a second and said some inappropriate things about my favorite place and my favorite thing, but I'll just play along here.
oh, okay. Well, I was
Mine have different initials.
Yeah, no kidding. Speaking of which, I think we might have hit a record with the last episode with the amount of things I needed to cut out and or bleep out.
yeah, I just listened to it yesterday and there was quite a bit. So well done, the two of you.
Lots of fairy horn in that episode.
That's what makes it fun.
That was all Scott and Phil. Kathleen and I don't think got bleeped out at all.
When you guys heard us laughing nonstop, I cut out an additional 15 or 20 seconds of us laughing. It went so long that I had to cut some of it out because it was just, it was forever.
That's what makes it fun, though.
Definitely.
So many shenanigans. Well, and what I was going to say was, in addition to our favorite place and things, the not the dark recesses of Phil's mind, but
Yeah, today's episode, our favorite place to take a in Walt Disney World.
you know who would really enjoy that episode would be Chad. Chad could totally get on board.
Why did Chad's picture appear in everyone's brain as soon as I said that?
We both said it at the same time.
Chad is a member of our Facebook group, DVC Clubhouse. So just a quick little plug. If you don't belong there, and well, anybody belongs there, really. We're not very discerning about who we let in. But if you do not,
if you don't belong there, wow.
If you do not already belong to the group, we invite you to join us on Facebook at DVC Clubhouse. Find out who Chad is and understand why. But Chad actually has done videos of all of the different bathrooms, and they have a YouTube channel, Main Street Party of Four, so you could check that out and give them a subscribe too while you're at it.
It really wasn't a big deal until he took a video of the people using the facilities. I mean, that's where it got a little off the rails.
He never did that. But we are going to be talking today about quick service dining. And as Phil pointed out when he suggested we talk about this, we have talked a lot about food on this podcast, but we never really have taken a deep dive into quick service and what our favorite quick service at the different parks and resorts are. So that is what we are going to discuss today.
It was the only way we could think of to keep you from talking about California Grill.
Well, we could do an entire episode on California Grill. I could tell you.
She'll find a way to turn that into quick service.
Well, if you could go to the bar.
There we go. Yep.
But anyway, yeah. So why don't we start with the theme parks? Let's start with the Magic Kingdom right off the bat. I mean, it's the OG park. Plus, we have agreed in a previous episode that the Magic Kingdom pretty much has the weakest dining any place on property. So why don't we talk about our favorite Magic Kingdom quick service?
Sounds good.
Well, go ahead, Kathleen.
I always go first. That's fine.
No, actually,
The problem is
now
nobody has anything.
you know you said that you always go first, which you do go frequently, but I feel like the last couple of episodes you've said, no, I always go first, and then you pass it off. So pretty soon you have to stop using that as an excuse because you've passed the buck a couple
Okay.
times.
All right.
And we all know you have a list.
Yes, I do have a list. All right. So Magic Kingdom. I'm going to have to go with Pecos Bills.
Why you say
Can we
that?
just say that that's unanimous for everybody? Because what else is there?
I like Casey's Corner.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Pecos Bill as my number one, and then I have two honorable mentions: Friar's Nook and Casey's Corner.
Friars
I
Nook?
forgot about
because-
Friar's Nook.
I enjoy Friar's Nook because I think they have some yummy, savory kind of like comfort foods, like with the fully loaded tots. Those are always really good, and they have that burger that looks like the Mr. Toad, right? Isn't that what it is? It's like the Mr. Toad burger or something. It's a brat burger, and they make it with like the what it looks like with the eyes, and the pickle looks like a tongue sticking out. So I enjoy that. I mean, seating there is pretty difficult. Like you really need to be in like table stalking mode when
Right.
when you go. As soon as you place your mobile order, you need to head over there and start stalking
That's what
a
Scott
table.
does. I tell Scott, go stock a table.
Yeah, we split up. I get the food, you get the table.
No.
I'm still stuck on the fact that nobody but us saw you make the frog ears when you were discussing that sandwich.
No, those were eyes. Those were eyes. They weren't ears. They put eyes.
Oh, wow.
Those were the eyes. She's doing
Oh.
it
Yeah,
again.
because because you know how frogs, like their eyes are kind of on the top of their head. They don't have ears. Frogs don't have ears.
Then how does
Not
Kermit hear
ears
Miss
like that.
Piggy? Oh, that
Well-
makes perfect sense. Kermit can't hear Miss Piggy, which is why he stays with her. It all starts to make sense now.
Can I tell an embarrassing
Somehow-
story?
Somehow we talk about Miss Piggy all the time.
Only
Aw.
him.
Only him. I have an embarrassing story about Friars Nook.
Oh, yes. This is quite funny.
It's confession time.
It
Yes.
is. After I felt like my soul was kind of like released, and like I don't know, after the last episode.
Yeah, so if anyone knows Scott, knows that he loves Robin Hood.
Yes, it's my favorite Disney animated movie of all time. And for years, I've always known it to be the Friar's Nook. And I never put together that the Friar's Nook was actually the friar from Robin Hood, Friar Tuck, until I saw his picture on the little tiny sign. And I said to Kathleen, I said, that's Friar Tuck. And she's like, well, it is the Friar's Nook. So I feel like I might have lost a little bit of credibility with my Robin Hood knowledge, but now it's we go there every single time now because it's my Robin Hood place.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, let me tell you something about the Cheshire Cafe and where that comes from. I'm going to blow your mind.
don't even start with me. That I swear, all the times that we've been there, I never knew that was associated. But that's because I was having so much fun. But anyway, back to your list.
No, Phil has a story.
I have a story.
I think he was being sarcastic.
Oh,
I was just making fun of Scott. That's all.
It was just a little bit of sarcasm.
I guess I didn't pick up on that one.
That's okay.
Again, it's been a long week for a Tuesday. But my other honorable mention, as you said, Kathleen, is Casey's Corner. And I'm not going there to get a hot dog, but I really do like the corn dog nuggets. If I'm just looking for like a little savory, salty snack, those always hit the spot. So those are really, I mean, I don't really dine that much in the Magic Kingdom because
Good food is just a boat ride away.
or I don't really do quick service. So if I do, it's going to be something really quick, like Casey's or Friar's Nook. If I'm going to do a sit down meal, a sit down quick service type of place, it would probably be Pecos Bill. But if I'm going to eat at Magic Kingdom, it will likely be at Skipper Canteen or Tony's. But I will most likely leave and go to a monorail resort to have a sit down meal. So Magic Kingdom is kind of like more like a snack place for me than it is a meal place. Because even when I go to the table service, I'm not really ordering like a meal. Even at Tony's, I'm getting like garlic bread and a glass of wine. And at Skipper's Canteen, I like the cachapas, so I get those.
Speaking of just discovering things, for all the years we have been going to Walt Disney World, multiple visits every year, Pecos Bills always ends up being our quick serve on our Magic Kingdom days. I just discovered last trip that as you're walking to the dining area, the ramp that goes up to the left leads to more seating and it's always empty. My mind was blown.
Yep. We never go up there, but
There is that hidden seating area. And I
Behind
feel like
Tortuga
that's just a
Tavern.
place. Yeah. I think that's just a place that, like, at least for my family, there's something that everybody likes there. Because the other thing about Magic Kingdom dining is it's like a little bit weird. Like there's the Pinocchio Village House that has,
Flatbreads and chicken tenders.
and it's not good. But then you have the Columbia Harbor House, which I feel like has items that are not appealing to everybody.
Have you seen the big uproar the last few weeks about Columbia Harbor House? And I'm not talking about the hush puppies they brought back, that they have shrunk down the serving size by about 30%, and people are screaming.
hmm,
I
Shocking.
did see that.
One thing I want to say about Casey's, I understand the allure of it. I understand that it's right on Main Street. And it's kind of cool. You know, sometimes we'll grab nuggets or something for the kids if we're waiting to see an afternoon parade. It's just chaotic. That corner is
very.
just chaotic. The tables are messy. There's people everywhere. You can't get a seat easily. It's typically 100 million degrees in the sun. I cannot stand hanging out in that corner, and that's what drives me away from Casey's. If I'm walking in either direction, my aim is to get through that corner as fast as humanly possible and get to where I can breathe again.
Yeah, it's very chaotic over there. We rarely get a seat. I think when we do order Casey's, it's because we found a seat and we're like, okay, we'll get Casey's. We definitely go but when I do eat there, I never get a hot dog. I get corn dog nuggets.
You always get corn dog
Yeah.
nuggets, yeah.
Same. And then, I mean, I do need to give a little bit of a nod to Cosmic Rays because although it's just burgers and also another place that is totally chaotic, there is like some nostalgia there. Sunny Eclipse is the star of that show and is like the only reason to ever go there. And it's really difficult to get a seat in the room where he is. So
Anytime we're at Magic Kingdom, that's the only place Lily ever wants to eat is Cosmic Rays. She always wants to eat there.
They have a good burger there, and I don't remember the name of the burger, but
It has like cherry barbecue sauce
yeah,
on it.
it's pretty good. I don't know, triple B burger, I think
Something
is
like
what it's
that.
called. But it's kind of surprisingly good for Cosmic Rays.
Yeah, but you've got to give up your firstborn child to get a seat there. I feel like I could actually hold up a sign that says $20. You can have my table when we're done, and I could fund my vacation.
Some days it's terrible there.
oddly, for as readily available as hamburgers are everywhere on Disney property, I don't really ever eat burgers when I'm there.
At Disney property? Or
Same here.
Yeah, on Disney property. I mean, I did eat that burger that I'm talking about, the brat burger at Friar's Nook. I had it once, and it was like really tasty, but that wasn't even like a regular standard burger. So
Well, there's the bison burger.
oh yeah, that one. But I was going to mention the stack burger at Steakhouse 71. I think that probably is even better than the bison burger.
We've only done breakfast at Steakhouse 71, and it was excellent. We've never made our way over there for lunch or dinner.
Yeah, it's a good burger.
I would try out the burger there for lunch. I had the steak frites there, and I just thought it was okay. It was swimming in chimichurri, and it was served with waffle fries. And steak frites is not supposed to be served with waffle fries. So anyway, moving on. This is not a podcast about steak. um, I feel like have we exhausted Magic Kingdom here? Are we ready to move on?
Sleepy Hollow. I mean, it kind of went downhill. after what they did. I'm sorry to mention this. I'm getting a dirty look right now, but
It was a
they
great snack for us, and then they took
Mm-hmm.
away the greatest thing they served.
Mm-hmm.
well, they still got the good corn dog there. I don't know
They
if
do.
anybody
The
ever
corn
got
dog's
the
pretty
corn
good
like the
there.
corn dog nuggets are good at Casey's, but if you want a good solid big old hefty corn dog,
I
go to sleep.
I
Go to
prefer
Sleepy Hollow.
I prefer the nugget
Okay.
to the corn dog on a stick.
What was your pick, Phil? Was it Pecos?
For Magic Kingdom, yeah, it's
Yeah.
Pecos.
Oh, okay.
As Amy said, it's the one place we can go that everybody is going to find something to eat. It's convenient, it's easy, and I think everything else there is just hugely underwhelming. But also, like Amy said, if I'm going to have something to eat, typically if we're staying over in the Seven Seas area, Polynesian or elsewhere, I'm just going to go back and have lunch at the pool at one of the good poolside bars.
Mm-hmm.
You get much better food. You get to relax by the pool. It's just a no-brainer to me.
Did you guys ever do Be Our Guest when it was quick service?
Yeah, but that was like a modified quick service, wasn't it? Don't I recall like you went in and weren't there screens or how did that
Well,
work?
yeah,
It
you
was a long
ordered at a
time ago.
kiosk. Yeah, you
Yeah.
ordered at a kiosk and then you sat down and then they brought you your food. They found you. But that was also kind of chaotic. That actually really did like make that restaurant feel like a cafeteria because you placed this order and then you had to like hunt down a place to sit again. And there was just like so many, I think like they were wheeling carts around with food and it just I
Yeah.
think that was actually the first time I ever dined um in the West Wing where the Roses was doing that quick service lunch, and it was chaotic.
Quick service by day and signature dining by night.
And neither one was very good.
All right, so should we move on over to Epcot?
Yeah.
I feel like Epcot's a little
Please.
is difficult for me to narrow it down to just one because it depends on the time of day for me. Um, where
I got two.
which quick service I prefer. And for me, I mean, I have to say we did Scott, Kathleen and I did a YouTube video of winner picks dinner around World Showcase. And I don't remember whose pick it was, but we went to Regal Eagle and I had never dined there and I probably never would have, but I enjoyed my salad there so much that I would absolutely go back there to have a meal again. So I thought that was really solid and I was really impressed by it. So I would definitely go there for lunch. Leal in France is my go-to for quick service breakfast all the time. That is a place that I repeatedly go to. So that's high on my list. And I just have to give a shout out to our our fallen our fallen comrades in quick service. Tangerine Cafe, before it became kind of like a festival dining place and now just basically serves the same stuff that they served at the festival. I loved that place so much. That was my number one favorite quick service dining in Epcot. And I was very sad that they changed it and I wish they would bring that menu back.
I'm gonna piggyback off of because you said winner picks dinner, and I remember we also went to another quick service at Epcot. We went to La Hacienda de San Angel, and I think that's an excellent option if you like some quick tacos and whatever else that they might have there,
Nachos.
nachos and churros, and they got a really cool churro sundae there. I remember seeing that.
That's actually my number pick. That's my pick for Epcot.
Really?
Yes.
Hmm.
La Hacienda.
I think my number two was what Amy said with Regal Eagle, and then maybe a close number three. I was going to mention the fish and chips, which I know you don't really care for fish and chips, but quick but excellent meal if you like fish and chips.
We like La Hacienda for the same reason that we like Pecos Bills. And I think just to change it up, the problem is my kids will always eat tacos and nachos. Taco Tuesday can occur 5 nights a week in my house, and everybody is happy. You're always going to be able to satisfy everybody. I just don't think the food is that good, so it doesn't hit the top of my list. And it's going to sound like a cop out, but I think my top has got to be Connections. It's the main food court, for lack of a better term, But all the food there that I've had has always been very good. The fries have been good, the burgers have been good, the flatbreads have been good. It's basic fare, but it's always been a good meal. I feel like it can't be beat. It's all made freshly. It's all very tasty. They've got some healthy options. They've got some variety. It's all come out very well prepared. I've had no complaints there. The honorable mention for me, and it's going to sound silly, but the French Canadian in me is just going to come right out. I got to go to Refreshment Port for the traditional poutine because I'm one of those French Canadians that says if it's not brown gravy and cheese curds on top of fries, it is not poutine. You can take all that junk at the Daily Poutine and call it poutine, but it is not poutine. Poutine is a very specific dish, and it's actually kind of good. And it
I
pains
like
me
it.
to say that, but it's pretty good.
It is
I
pretty
like
good.
Connections. I like both of those places.
What's the Chinese place that we never talk about?
Oh, I'm glad that you brought that up. Blossom, Lotus Blossom Cafe, I think, is what it's called, and I love the egg rolls there. I know that people think that it's just like standard Chinese, but I think that those egg rolls are better than the egg rolls that you get at your neighborhood Chinese takeout place.
I
Definitely,
know
that
we've had
sounds
this
good.
conversation before. I feel like the Chinese restaurants there always just get a sideways glance, whether it be the quick serve or the sit down, because everybody can get some sort of Americanized Chinese at home. But again, we've not had a bad meal at either one of those. It hasn't knocked my socks off, but it's never been a bad meal. I like consistency. If you give me a restaurant that gives me a consistently decent meal every time, I will go back versus a restaurant that gives me an amazing meal followed up by a terrible meal because I just can't handle the inconsistency of it.
And I also like Connections. My thing is like I just spend so much more time in World Showcase that when I'm ready to eat, I'm typically in World Showcase. And I'm not going to leave World Showcase to go all the way over to Connections to get food because there's always options in World Showcase. So I think that's just like where Connections kind of like fall short for my list because it's just not in a place where, and it's also in a part of the park where I don't really spend much time because I don't really ride Guardians. I don't ride Mission Space. I don't love Test Track. So it's like kind of like over in an area of the park that's like not where I spend a lot of time. So and I do want to give a little bit of a nod to Sunshine Seasons because I think that they have a
Mhm.
nice variety of food. And it, in the past, I have not been there in a while, but in the past, when I was there with my family, with my kids when they were younger, that is also a place where we could find something for everybody. And it was nice because you could typically find a table and it's indoors and air conditioned and it's like a place where you can go to just kind of escape from the madness of Epcot.
Yeah, we end up there quite a bit as well. And I think, again, this is a difference between how we vacation with you being either solo or with other adults and us being there with kids. When Emily and I are there, we love being able to go through World Showcase, take our time, have small bites all the way through. But when you've got a couple of little kids who get hungry and you need one place that has something that will satisfy everyone, it traditionally comes down to Connections or Sunshine Seasons because that's the one place you can get a table and everybody can find something they like. So we're somewhat, I don't want to call it hamstrung, but we certainly have to cater to the kids in that respect. So how we dine when we're by ourselves versus how we dine when we're there as a family is very different.
And both of those are air conditioned. So that helps.
I tend to be drawn more to Sunshine Seasons just because I love Soarin'. I always ride Living with the Land. So I'm always that is a part of the park that I'm always in. So if I'm gonna need to grab something, I am more likely to grab it there than at Connections just because of the things that I do when I'm in the park.
You know, it's funny. Kathleen says they're air conditioned, but as I briefly go back in my mind through the various trips we've been on, it seems like when we want someplace to cool down, we do it over at Connections. And when we're there in the winter, December or January, and we need someplace to warm up, it inevitably becomes Sunshine Seasons. And I don't know why that is, but we go warm up in the Land Pavilion.
Nobody mentioned La Crappery.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not called La Crappery.
Well, my French is a little off, but
But your English is spot on.
I appreciate that. They do have a window there where you can order crepes.
We'll do that, but it's more of a snack for us than a meal. And I think when I was thinking about my favorite quick serve, I just gravitated toward meals. But yeah, if we're back there, I think we will traditionally split a few crepes between us.
I have not dined at that restaurant, nor have I gotten anything from that window. So I've had reservations there a number of times, but it's always one of those that inevitably I think I make the reservation because I know I've never dined there and part of me wants to try it. But in reality, when I'm there, I don't want to spend my time there. There are so many other things I'd rather be doing. So it always it always makes it to the cutting room floor of my vacations.
I don't think you're missing anything. Well, we just had it not that long ago.
No, I'll get it from the window, like a crepe from the window, but as far as sitting down in the restaurant again, I won't do again.
Yeah, that was a one and done for me, I think.
We've never done the restaurant. We'll get a little snack from the window, but frankly, as you said, they're decent, but I make better crepes at home. So
I expect one when we're doing our bro trip at Fort Wilderness. I expect a crepe.
done.
Nobody likes the pizza in Italy. The pizza window. Come on, guys.
No, I think it's
No,
horrible.
Nope.
it is
Wow.
not good.
It is horrible.
Unanimous.
I feel like the pizza at the pizza window at Epcot is the worst pizza in all of Walt Disney World.
It is. I totally
is-
agree.
It is thick and heavy and greasy, and the cheese I feel like there's so much cheese and it's not even fully melted, and it's just I don't know. It's a big heavy block of just it's a mess.
Sound familiar?
Oh, stop it. She's referring to my favorite pizza back in Northeast Ohio. Shout out to Mary's Pizza. Let
It's
me tell you,
horrible.
the stuff that dreams are made of right
No.
there.
I think the flatbreads, if we qualify those, it's pizza at Village House, give that a run for its money. I don't think they're very good at all.
I would rather
have
eat those than
I'd
that.
rather have Pinocchio's.
Yeah, same. And I mean, and it's so disappointing because the pizza inside Via Napoli is delicious. I don't know why they don't just serve that. I mean, maybe because they can't use those pizza ovens to generate the quantity that they need for like a quick service, so they just make this. I don't even know. It's
Because you can't microwave the pizza that comes out of Via Napoli. That's why.
exactly. All right, so moving on to Hollywood Studios. What does everyone think about Hollywood Studios?
Well, does baseline count? Or no?
I feel like it's
Can we
like
mobile order there?
lounge-ish. I don't know. You cannot
No.
mobile order.
No
No.
mobile order. No, but I mean it's pretty.
I
Walk
mean-
up, you get your food. No, you have no waiter, no waitress.
Yeah, you just order your food and you sit down. I mean, I like baseline, and I also, if I had to pick another one, I'm probably gonna go with Woody's.
Yeah, I think the quick service at Hollywood Studios is actually better than the table service options that they have in some ways. I'm not
I
a
would
big fan
definitely
of
prefer. I agree
quick
with you,
service.
Scott. I would rather do quick service at Hollywood Studios than I would do any of the sit down dining.
Yeah, but yeah, since you said baseline, I definitely agree with that. And you said Woody's
Mm-hmm.
also. Yeah, other than that, what else is there? What's that? Rosie's?
I got to go with ABC Commissary. Again, you can go in, you can find something for everyone. It's a little bit higher class than your standard quick serve. It's reasonably good, but I've always been the guy that says I think Hollywood Studios suffers from a lot of shortages and dining is on the list.
So, I mean, when I go to Hollywood Studios, I do typically just eat at baseline. I get the charcuterie and the pretzel, and that's a full meal. I can split that with somebody or, two
Mm-hmm.
or three other people. But I do think that the overall, like if you look at like the different lands, I think that Galaxy's Edge has better food options than a lot of the places. I think Docking Bay 7, I know that it might not be appealing to everybody because there's like a little bit of, kind of different, unique combinations there. But I think their food, anything that I've had there has been pretty delicious. And I also put Woody's Lunchbox on my list because I think that is a good place just to get, you can get the mac and cheese. No, I'm sorry, the grilled cheese with the tomato
Mhm.
soup if it's cooler out, and that's pretty good. I really like those lunchbox tarts. That was my pick for when we did Winter Picks dinner. That was my dessert. So I really enjoy that.
Pop Tart.
What did you say, Scott?
I said Pop Tart.
I think those are delicious.
I think Woody's is another place that suffers from being chaotic for me, and it's another
It's
thing.
busy.
Yeah, not just that. If you want to get quick service for lunch, you better set your walk-up time
Mhm.
somewhere around 9 a.m. because if you start thinking about it by 11:30, good luck getting something before dinner.
Yeah, in the past, I have ordered my lunch at Hollywood Studios, mobile ordered it the moment I've walked into the park and set my pickup time for 11:30 or 12. But I've placed that order right when I walked in the park because, to your point, it can be really difficult to get food at those specific places that are always busy.
Well, especially there because everybody shows up with their families, with kids, and about 11 a.m. The kids have been going nonstop since 7:30. The kids are starting to crash. Most of those families are centered around Toy Story Land, and at 11 o'clock they start hitting those quick serve windows. You can forget about it. You need to set that up as soon as you get in the morning and just plan for lunch because there's no way you're fighting through those crowds of people trying to get lunch to hungry kids at noon.
The current lunchbox tart at Woody's is the 4th of July lunchbox tart with cherry pie filling and vanilla fondant star sprinkles.
I've never had that one.
I've never had that either, but that sounds delicious. Cherry pie filling?
That does sound good.
My wife just drove off the road when she listened to that. You said cherry pie filling, and she was in, and I just went, ugh.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite. If I'm picking a pie, I'm picking a cherry pie. That sounds delicious.
She would sit there with a spoon and a jar of cherries or cherry pie filling and be perfectly happy, and my stomach turns just thinking about it.
Oh, I like cherry pie.
Me too. I got nothing
I was
else
going to
at
start
Hollywood
singing, but
Studios. She's my...
yeah, I was going to start singing, but I refrained. But thank you for regaling us with your tune.
That would make it like 5 episodes in a row that we sang.
Sorry.
All right, so then Animal Kingdom.
I'm always going to go with Nomad Lounge, but
I'm going to have to throw a protest flag here. I don't think that qualifies as quick serve.
well, if it doesn't qualify, then I guess I'll have to go with Flame Tree, or what is it? Flame Tree barbecue, or
yeah, Flame Tree.
And that's just my opinion. I think you need to join a
Yeah.
walk list. You need to go to a table. You need to order from a menu.
well,
That's
you do.
a challenge more
You
than
do it, Nomad.
me.
You join a walk-up list. You sit at a table,
That's what-
and you have a waitress.
That's
what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. That's what he's
Oh.
saying. That's why it does not qualify as quick service.
Oh.
But I thank you for making my point for me.
She's like, damn it, Phil, you're checking all my boxes here.
I guess I'll have to do Flame Tree. I mean, there's really not much else there.
Satuli.
I mean, I think we've ate there like once,
Twice?
twice.
I don't know. We don't really eat at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, we don't really eat at Animal Kingdom much
Because
other
everybody
than
leaves before lunch.
or I'd have small bites at Nomad. So
I
Yeah,
like
I'm
Satuli
gonna-
Canteen. I like to go there and get the cheeseburger pods kids meal. That's
Oh,
always like
yeah.
a good thing to kind of tide me over. I think it's delicious. And I think those bowls are pretty good and like they're like on the healthier option if you're looking for something that's not going to be like super heavy. So Satulia Canteen was my pick. But I do like that Yak and Yeti local market place or whatever it's called. They have a bunch of different options and I think it's pretty
I
good.
forgot about that too.
Yak and Yeti's the top of my list, but I'm just going to stop the conversation for 1 second here. So you keep talking about how you enjoy the lounges and these adults-only trips, and so far you have had breadsticks with cheese at Tony's Town Square. We've had corn dog nuggets. We've had the kids' meal cheeseburger pods, and you want to go over to Woody's Lunchbox at Hollywood Studios. You eat like my children.
The bulk of my dining is at restaurants at resorts. When I am at the parks, I will pick these like smaller type of things to tide me over, but I'm not investing like a ton of time eating in the theme parks. And also, I don't really go to the theme parks that much anymore. I am like, I pop in and out, but I'm spending the majority of my time at the resorts and eating at the resorts. And I'm with you, Kathleen, on Nomad Lounge. I mean, I 100% of the time am going to Nomad Lounge and getting the cauliflower, which no child would eat. So don't accuse me of eating like a kid when some of my top options that I would eat would be cauliflower and Brussels sprouts.
I would rather take a spoonful of cherry pie filling than cauliflower. You order cauliflower when I'm there, I'm calling security.
Why do people up north like that call it cauliflower?
What's it called?
Isn't it cauliflower? Who calls it cauliflower? You all say cauliflower?
I call it trash.
I call
Yes.
it delicious. And they have a dish called gobi Manchurian on the menu at Nomad Lounge, which I love. So
Look, if I can't pick Grand Floridian Cafe, you guys cannot pick Nomad Lounge. I'm sorry.
Grand
This is a
Floridian
quick
Cafe
service.
is a sit down.
That's why I'm not. That's why I picked Satuli Canteen.
Yet waxed poetic for 7 minutes about Nomad Lounge.
How are you going to pick Grand Floridian Cafe when you can make a reservation for it on My Disney Experience?
You can't, which is why we can't talk about Nomad Lounge.
You can make a reservation on My Disney Experience for Grand
Or
Floridian
Grand
Cafe.
Floridian.
I know, that's my
Yes.
point. If I can't pick Grand Floridian Cafe, you guys cannot wax poetic about how amazing Nomad Lounge is on a quick service episode.
Well, their food is good.
So's Victoria and Albert's, but it's not in this episode.
Well, I've never been to Victoria and Albert, so I won't.
If anybody would like to
Same
make
thing.
that happen,
No, because she won't eat
Yes.
anything. The chef's plate mac and cheese is not on the menu.
I think they would accommodate me.
We're just putting it out there, folks, that if anybody has a Victoria and Albert's reservation and would like to take us out to dinner, we will gladly accept an invitation.
yeah.
Anyway,
I'll try everything put in front of me.
Oh, now
I can't promise you that I won't get sick.
That's worth the
but I'll
price of
try
admission
it.
right there.
Yeah, I might be willing to fund this just if we can vlog the whole thing, just to see her face as she's eating all of this.
Can you imagine the fancy people sitting next to me as I say, welcome to another STD at Victoria and Albert's?
Starts gagging the second they put the caviar in front of her.
I just also need to circle back to the thing that Phil said about that I'm eating like a child. I mean, we are talking about like theme parks, and most of the dining options in the theme parks are really meant to be able to feed families and kids. So
That's value
I-
Amy. When it's
I
deluxe
did say-
Amy, she's California Grill.
I did say Satuli Canteen and Docking Bay 7, which I don't think are things that most kids would want to eat. Just because I got a kid-sized portion.
Sometimes it's too easy.
Because I'm saving room
We've
for
been there.
Nomad Lounge.
Or what's the other one?
I've never been to Docking Bay.
Yeah,
Docking
That's
Bay.
the Ronto wraps.
That's not
No.
that.
Huh? Who's got the Ronto wrap?
Ronto Roasters or Roosters, whatever it's called.
Roasters. It is Ronto Roasters.
Ronto Roosters?
That's an
I don't go to-
Ohio restaurant.
Is that chicken wings?
I don't go to Galaxy's Edge much.
Just to quickly circle back, I also would have picked Yak and Yeti for Animal Kingdom. But I'm looking at the menu right now. Honey sesame chicken, Kobe cheeseburger, rib tips, teriyaki chicken salad, firecracker shrimp, Korean fried chicken sandwich, sweet and sour tempura shrimp, vegetable tikka masala. They've got a really good selection, and the
I
food's
think-
always reasonably good.
I think we need to go there next
That's
time.
like everything that the actual restaurant has. Do they have that dessert?
The wontons?
The wontons.
Those are good.
Pineapple wontons.
Negative. We have banana pudding parfait, cookies and cream parfait, frozen lemonade cup, and mini mango pie.
Yeah, and who picks banana pudding over banana bread? Okay, I'm out.
Myself and Sean, so you watch your tongue. Oh, and for Amy, they've also got chicken strips and Uncrustables.
What's your vote for Animal Kingdom?
I'm gonna hold for Amy's reply.
Not engaging with this absurdity.
I've heard that before.
You just engaged for 6 minutes of defense.
I don't have a pick.
You don't?
No,
Why?
I'm not eating an Animal Kingdom.
You have to pick.
I'm eating at that little shack that we ate at the other day that had the mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
That's a brand new place. They got mac and cheese with
Pulled pork.
pulled pork, mac and cheese with whatever that other stuff was called.
Oh, is that
Barbe-
the 8 Spoon Cafe? Is that what it's called?
Yep, that's it. And they also have the nacho place now. The street corn. There's street corn nachos. There's pulled pork nachos. So they have a lot of little, what would you call them? Food little booths
Yeah.
around the area. But as far as like actually like a quick service, I'm good. I guess I like the Ronto.
Well, that's in Hollywood Studios. So
What? Ronto. Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong park. Sorry. We're in Animal Kingdom now.
Yes.
speaking of which, all of those little snacks that you mentioned, when we do Clubhouse Weekend this year, which is for those of you listening who don't know, we do an annual meetup of the DVC Clubhouse group. And this year, the park that we are going to be visiting together is Animal Kingdom. And we are going to be kind of doing like a eating and drinking around Animal Kingdom the way that we, people normally do at World Showcase, which is what we did last year for Clubhouse Weekend. But we're changing it up a little bit because the whole theme of the weekend is kind of centered around Animal Kingdom and Animal Kingdom Lodge because we have our big party at an Animal Kingdom Lodge Grand Villa. So we'll be able to try out all of these little snacks and things that we're talking about. Maybe we can report back on which were the best ones.
Jumbo.
I'm busy that week.
Wow.
Whatever.
Animal Kingdom Lodge, eating our way through Animal Kingdom. Ugh.
It's not just Animal Kingdom.
Are we going to Animal Kingdom?
Yes.
I'm out.
You don't have to go then.
Day 2, we'll be exploring the campgrounds at Fort Wilderness.
He isn't going. He is not going.
Well, I'm definitely not going now.
You're not
He
invited.
has to work.
I have uninvited myself.
That's fine. We'll take you off the list.
Wait,
Kathleen
there's
got
a
a
list?
You
I
better
got a
watch
list.
Of
out,
course,
Phil.
Kathleen
You
has a
better
list.
watch out because you'll end up on the list.
Oh, we talked about the list before the episode started. I'm well aware that there's a list.
So,
Watch yourself,
all right.
Phil.
Shall we move over to Disney Springs?
Wow.
All right, yes, let's
Oh.
do Disney Springs.
Disney Springs. I didn't write that one down. Damn it.
Oh.
Oh, this is an easy one for me because this is probably my number one favorite quick service in all of Walt Disney World. And it's the
Goofy's
Polite
Candy
Pig.
Company.
Oh, yep, that's it.
Oh my gosh,
Polite
I
Pig.
forgot about that place.
That's
What
mine.
did you
In
say,
keeping with the
Goofy's
theme.
Candy Company?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I thought she was going to say Goofy's Candy Company. Anyway, carry on. I forgot about Polite Pig.
That's
Keeping
what
what
Mackenzie
in-
picked too, Amy.
Polite Pig? Are you kidding?
Silence.
Polite Pig's my pick.
Who's talking?
Polite Pig.
When we go to Polite Pig, we actually just split the butcher board. That's what we get. I think it's pretty good.
This is a place, I mean, I know it sounds silly because it's a barbecue place and you go there to get meat, but I typically do not get any meat when I'm there. I order the market sides. You can get like 3 market
Mhm.
sides. And they have that like street corn. They have the Brussels sprouts that are absolutely delicious. And
False.
they have this watermelon salad that I absolutely love. Plus, I typically go and I sit at the bar like on the inside because you can order the food that you can order it at the quick service counter, or you can sit at the bar and they'll bring it to you there. And they have a delicious, I forget what it's called. It's an apple cider whiskey sour. So good. So Polite Pig is really, really good. And last year, it was one of, I think, the only restaurant on Walt Disney World property that made a Michelin list. So that's how good it is.
Isn't that your favorite Brussels sprouts?
Yes. Amy is correct with the Brussels sprouts comment. I'm sorry, Phil.
Also false.
We have 2 yeses and 2 very hard no's
Yeah.
for
No.
Brussels sprouts.
Me and you, Kathleen, we're in this together.
I don't eat Brussels sprouts. They smell horrible.
Yeah,
Not
you know
until
what else smells horrible after you eat Brussels sprouts?
I was going to say not until the next day.
Kathleen, did you have a pick?
Polite pig.
Scott?
Probably Polite Pig. Deluxe Burger. I don't know. Polite Pig. They're both. Earl of Sandwich, I think, is solid. We've been there a few times, and I think Earl of Sandwich is always a solid choice. But yeah, if I'm
Yeah,
picking
you
quick
can't go
service,
wrong there.
if I'm picking quick service, Amy's right. I mean, you got to go Polite Pig. You can't go wrong there. Bourbon Bar, barbecue.
I think you're all uncultured swine. I am going to Pepe by Jose Andres.
I've never been there.
Excellent chef, great quick serve options that kind of mirror what's in his main sit down restaurant. I'm looking at it: flautas, burgers, pork burgers, chorizo hot dog sandwich, Spanish tuna salad, fried chicken, bacon, lettuce, and tomato. Huge selection, huge menu, all very well put together, all really good food. I would take Pepe over Polite Pig if given the choice.
Did anybody try the new Eat?
No, but I really want to go because I am sure that I will love it and it will probably be high on my list of quick service dining venues at Walt Disney World.
I agree. I've seen some of the offerings that they have, and I think it looks really good. Like I can't wait to try it. And Tom and Pam from the Facebook group, they're gonna do the special meal where they are actually served by the owner, Menit. I don't know the
Yep.
last name, but there's a special meal that you can do. It's pretty pricey, but I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. But that's gonna be up there on the list for me.
That sounds amazing. And I love Indian food, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it. I just haven't really been I think I've only been to Disney once or twice for short trips since it's open. So I just haven't had a chance to get over to Disney Springs, but it is on my list.
Can you
September.
count?
I'm gonna make it happen.
Can you count Wine Bar George if you just sit at the bar and get some apps?
I don't
Yeah,
think
that's
so, but they
always a
do have
good.
the market at
The
Wine Bar
basket.
George. They that window where the market basket or the basket. That's what it's called.
I think so. Maybe it's the market basket. But yeah, you can get stuff from there.
And also, I've never done it, but I've always wanted to, is the Morimoto street food,
Oh, the
that
ribs.
window.
It
Yeah, they serve
actually
the
was number
ribs.
2 on my list, and it almost took number 1. The only thing I will say about it is I don't find it to be great when the weather is hot, but if it's a cooler night, the ramen and some of the other things there are just phenomenal. We've got nothing bad to say about it.
How about Jock Lindsay's?
I feel like that's a lounge too. That like falls in the category of nomad where you need to get a table, you have somebody waiting on you. It's not like you go up and order and they hand you your food and you walk away with it, you know.
Isn't that also Polite Pig?
No, Polite Pig has a counter that you can go up to and order from.
Yeah, but somebody brings you your food. I'm just being technical.
All right, so let's bring it to the resorts. I mean, there are a lot of options to choose from here because there are a lot of resorts. So, what is everyone thinking? I know what my choice is.
Hmm.
Well, I have two. My number one has to be Gasparilla Grill over at the Grand Floridian. And number two probably is Captain Cook's at the Polynesian. I love those coconut meatballs. But those are my top two favorites. And I think number three, I think a lot of people does not like is Contempo Cafe. I think they're pretty good.
None of those are my number one.
Well, that's fine.
No, I'm just saying it's funny because there are so many options to choose from.
Are we limited to just DVC resorts here, or are we
No,
broadening our
I think you
We
could
horizons?
could
pick
broaden it out.
Okay. I don't want to go next then.
my my choice is the Mara at Animal Kingdom Lodge. I love it there. I think that they have some really different options. And again, like I really like that they have some pretty healthy options. They
Hmm.
have a really good grain bowl that you can get for breakfast and for lunch that I think is absolutely delicious and would eat it over and over again. So that is my pick.
We were just there this past weekend and we actually ate there a couple times. And they also have zebra domes.
Zebra
Yeah, the
domes.
Mara is pretty good.
I'll go. I'm going to go with Grand Floridian like you. Gasparillas. I think every time we've ever been there, they have a lot of unique kind of upscale sandwiches. Even the grilled cheese that they just had was a little bit more upscale. And I think the food it's quick service, but it's always like a notch above quick service. And then I think one more that I just want to throw out is the Trails End quick service over at Fort Wilderness.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I love the food there. It's just the same food that they had when it was an actual restaurant, and there's a lot of different things there that you can pick from. They have pizzas, ice cream, specialty coffees. They have the fried chicken, all of the barbecue options, the cornbread, the baked beans. So that's also, it's quick service, but it's just a little bit, I would call it like a notch above quick
I
service.
would probably put that above Contempo Cafe. I forgot about that.
And then I wanted to say Three Bridges, but I don't think I could say Three Bridges over at Coronado. I'm not sure. I don't think that counts.
That doesn't count.
Okay.
I was just going to say, speaking of Animal Kingdom Lodge, there is also, Sanaa has a quick service breakfast that I think is excellent. And I love that
Very
too.
good.
So that's it. So for breakfast, I think that Sanaa might be also, Sanaa and the Mara are like two solid options for me for quick service at breakfast time.
Definitely.
I'm kind of at a loss on this one because we don't do a lot of quick service at the resorts. Typically, we will do poolside quick service. So our experience is somewhat limited. I mean, we've done a few, and I think a lot of the quick serves at the resorts are passable. I don't think they're amazing. I think as far as pool bars go, I think it's the one place Polynesian does well. I think Captain Cook's stinks, but your poolside menu is actually pretty decent with fish tacos, the Oasis pool, the Barefoot. I think they're solid, but I don't know that we really go out of our way to go to resorts for quick serve at any point in time.
I never go out of my way. Like I would not likely leave my resort to go to another resort to go to their quick serve. But I also don't often eat at the quick serve, even at the resort that I'm staying at. Animal Kingdom Lodge is the exception for me because I really do think that the Mara and Sanaa breakfast are an exception to that rule.
It is good. I just on, I think, what was it, Sunday? I went over to Sanaa from Jumbo for breakfast time. But they're both really good options.
Nobody said Beach Club in the marketplace, too. I think a lot of times when we're at Beach Club, we eat there, especially for breakfast.
I like the marketplace. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty solid option for breakfast.
And I think despite Kathleen's boycott, I think Geyser Point still has an excellent quick serve over at Wilderness Lodge. The face Kathleen just made was great.
I think that the
Certainly.
Ale and Compass Market quick serve is a decent option too in the morning for breakfast. I honestly I feel like that's typically when I eat quick service is for breakfast. And I mean the Beach Club Marketplace quick service breakfast is standard. I mean, I think it's the same at every other resort. It's, the Mickey waffle, the, the Mickey waffles with some bacon, you could, whatever sides you want. It's nice though because I do find the Beach Club Marketplace to be like pretty quick. Typically when I'm in my room, if I mobile order it, by the time I get down, it's ready, which is nice. It doesn't seem to get as busy as some of the other quick service at some of the other resorts. And that might be because also, in terms of lunch, I think having a strong pool bar like Hurricane Hannah's is pretty strong. So it kind of is. It's like splitting um, the traffic between Beach Club Marketplace and Hurricane Hannah's. And and I mean, I think it's strong because I appreciate a good salad, and I think that they have a really good salad.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we missed.
No, I don't think the resorts are really strong. For as much as we talk about how much we love the resorts for having amazing sit down dining, I think the resorts for quick serve are just passable. It's just some place to get some food when you need it to fill the hole, but there's not a whole lot there.
Yeah, it's funny when you think of like the theme park days, you think of getting quick service, but definitely resorts are nothing but table service is what I think about.
Some of the best on property.
I was just going to say I agree with that. I think that the quick service is there in a pinch. it's something to turn to if you're there and you're hungry in that moment and you want something quickly, but it's not something that you plan ahead for. Like to your point, Phil, you don't go out of your way to go to a different resort's quick service. For me, the resorts are all about the table service dining. I mean, that's like the part of the experience. I go out of my way to go to other resorts for table service.
Yep, 1,000%. All right, have we beaten this horse to death?
I think so.
I think so.
All right, well, we thank you as always for playing along with us. If everyone has the time, and we all know you have the time, if you could go over to Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star review, some positive comments, helping our listenership. Amy?
And as I mentioned earlier, please join us on the Facebook page, DVC Clubhouse. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And until next time, we'll DVC you real soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
And so our journey comes to an end.
Oh, no, please, can't we go back to page 1 and do it all over again?
Started this thing together, and that's how we'll finish it.
Because that, my friends, is where the magic lives.